Greetings and welcome back everyone. If you like these daily crypto analysis videos, hit the like button and share them with your friends to help the channel grow. I'm Crypto Snake, back again to discuss some Bitcoin analysis. I'm going to start this video out a little bit differently than I normally do. I'm actually going to cover a bit of news today and go over what exactly happened to Bitcoin and more importantly, what happened in the crypto space this week. So unless you've been hiding under a rock, you've seen that Bitcoin savagely dumped, and many are actually calling this the breakdown of the pennant. I really don't believe this, and I will lay out in the video why. But first, just taking a look at what happened. We dropped all the way from 63.30 all the way wicking down to 5,200 on Coinbase. Absolutely savage, almost $1,000 drop. Absolutely insane, and if you don't believe that crypto is a volatile market, this is an example right here. Now, I'm going to go over why I don't think any technical analysis really backed up this drop at all. A lot of people, as I said, are calling this a drop out of the pennant. We broke out of this pennant previously and we're trending upwards. We were moving for a slight drop down to the logarithmic trend line, which we were holding for several days before shattering through and falling all the way down. Now, taking a look back at the pennant, even if you draw the pennant out to here, there really is no historical basis for it. None of these previous peaks even moved close to the pennant, so that really doesn't work. So I'm going to explain exactly what caused this dump. This dump shattered through several support lines, both the upper logarithmic trend line, the secondary logarithmic trend line, the trend line from last year, back through into the pennant, back through the lower possible pennant target at 5,800, and continue to strike down through 5,600 support, through 5,400 support, and just kept going. So again, what caused this? I actually believe that this entire dump was a perfect storm of chaos brewed from a single event in the crypto space. And this is not the first time that a crypto event has actually caused Bitcoin to make a massive move. Back in September, we had the ETF cancellation, which caused a massive price drop from 7,400 all the way back down to 6,200, ignoring all supports on the way and just dropping straight through. This is very similar. So what was this event and why did it take Bitcoin with it so heavily? Well, if you haven't heard, Bitcoin Cash, which was hard forked off of Bitcoin, was actually having a hard fork decision of its own to make between Bitcoin Cash ABC and Bitcoin Cash SV. Craig Wright, who is the head of Bitcoin Cash SV, or quote-unquote Satoshi's vision, has actually been accused of being a fraud several times. In fact, he has been accused by Vitalik himself, the leader of Ethereum.
He claimed that in the context of selfish mining, gamma can be less than zero, which is an absolutely nonsensical claim that makes no sense because gamma is the percentage of the network that is colluding with the miner, which by definition is between 0 and 1. So given that he makes so many non-sequiturs and mistakes, why is this fraud allowed to speak at this conference? Yeah.
And has been proven to be a fraud several times. He's been making a lot of waves in the crypto space, throwing FUD everywhere and throwing a temper tantrum, acting like a petulant child holding Bitcoin hostage, saying that he's going to direct all of his mining pools to SV and not ABC and make it that ABC can't transfer anything out. So if you buy Bitcoin Cash ABC, it's going to be worth absolutely nothing. It's not going to transfer, which is absolutely foolish. There's no way for someone to do this. This is what's called a 51% attack. The people with more than 51% of the mining hash rate attempt to take over the coin. It's kind of a hostile takeover. In this example, SV wants to turn it into a centralized platform instead of a decentralized platform, which everyone should prefer a decentralized platform because it puts that power back into the people's hands. With quote-unquote Bitcoin Cash Satoshi vision, he wants to take that power and give it to basically the major mining pools, which is why he's trying to hold it hostage. He currently has 71 to 73% of the hash rate. Now, the problem with his theory is that he believes that he can make Bitcoin Cash ABC not able to make any transfers. It still has 16 to 25% of the hash rate. That is plenty to make transfers with. Now, will it be slower in the meantime? Sure. However, here's where the free market comes in. As his hash rate is higher, but SV is worth less, those miners that are on his network will actually jump onto the other networks because it's not going to be profitable for them to continue to mine for SV if it's worth $30 when Bitcoin Cash is worth $400. So the entire logic of that situation is entirely foolish to me. So this entire debacle caused a massive price drop in Bitcoin Cash on leverage trading specifically, where people were overextending their positions, caused it to crash massively, which took Bitcoin with it. In fact, it took the entire crypto market with it. So moving back to Bitcoin's chart, just to show this real quick. So when Bitcoin Cash started to drop, it broke us down underneath the logarithmic trend line and broke us into what's known as a long squeeze. A lot of the Bitcoin long liquidations were down around this level, once those broke and hit, they started liquidating and the exchange started taking the money out of Bitcoin very, very quickly. As we broke down to somewhere around this point, around the 5,900 to 6,000 level. This is where the Bitcoin long squeeze started to run out of steam a little bit. However, what happened was it ended up triggering the Ethereum long squeeze, which was also on the horizon, which I pointed out in a couple of previous videos. Just switching over to the Ethereum longs chart, you see that it spiked up and then spiked all the way back down massively through here, executing that long squeeze. That took Bitcoin with it, which I did believe that it was going to take Bitcoin with it. However, all of this compounding brought us all the way down to the 5,200 level, breaking through all of these previous support levels. Now, all of these long squeezes wasn't quite enough to bring us down all the way. So what also happened is that a lot of miners removed their assets from Bitcoin for the Bitcoin Cash expected fork. Now, if you don't know what the fork actually does, it was actually a snapshot that would offer a 1-to-1 token split between Bitcoin Cash ABC, which is currently worth around $300, and Bitcoin Cash SV, which is dropping heavily and down at $100. So if you were holding Bitcoin Cash at the time of this split, you'd basically be receiving free money. So now that this drama has ended and Craig Wright can return to his rightful place as a footnote in the annals of history where he belongs, I believe Bitcoin will actually see a very nice return to the previous range and trend area. So now let's dig into some technical analysis. As for the daily chart, the Savage breakdown on the cloud system, look at this. Just look how absolutely ridiculous this is. A straight plunge. We were trending sideways. Everything was still looking very, very bullish and good long term. And then we had this massive drop here. Nowhere back in Bitcoin's history since this drop can you see a gigantic drop like this so quickly. Yes, we've had giant drops like this, but look how gradual the cloud is. The cloud system has time to roll over. There is no rollover here. Just an absolutely straight dump on the daily chart. So now a couple things I want to point out and why I believe we will break back up into the previous range and why this next pump that is going to occur will absolutely make the market's head spin. People will be flat on their ass, shorts will be liquidated all the way back up. If we take a look down on the RSI, we are down at 17. Just to scroll back in Bitcoin's history since this dump, we have not gotten down to 17 since August of 2016, which broke back violently back towards the top. Since January, the lowest we've ever dipped was about 25 before rebounding heavily. That was a dip from 6,000 all the way up to 11,000. Now I believe this RSI level is going to be a major player in rebounding us back up. The fact that we are this oversold and people are still shorting it means that they are degenerate gamblers. If you are shorting the market right now, you are playing in very, very dangerous territory. Could there be another flash dump? That would require another event. All of the long squeezes have exhausted themselves, so I really don't think we're going to break down much further than this, not unless the FUD or panic continues. I think we're going to be seeing some very, very green movement here within the next week or so. It really depends on how long it takes to start the rebound. We may very well form a Bart Simpson pattern, moving sideways within this small little range, giving us a nice little dead zone or breather for shorts to overextend themselves, and then breaking right back up with some force. So the SAR is obviously still moving bearish. I was expecting a flip coming soon, but as you can see on the descent here, look at this pattern. Just boom, boom. That's not natural. Now the price is also heavily separated from the daily Kijun-sen. A lot of these indicators should really be taken with a grain of salt right now, with the exception of the RSI, as a lot of these indicators, the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen, are based on averages, and after such a savage drop, it's really hard to use it as a judge. But the daily Kijun-sen is all the way up at the 5850 level, indicating a pullback to around that level. Now before I get on with some more technical analysis, if you'd like to join my free Telegram for insights on the market, including Bitcoin, altcoins, and a sneak peek to my personal entries and exits, join t.me/cryptosnakebit. Links directly to the chat and a link on how to install Telegram, which is a free chat program I use to communicate with my VIPs, in the description below. I've also launched my official Twitter, so follow me at CryptoSnakeVIP to get regular updates. The Gains Fair is back this month, giving us some savage gains for November, but here are some gains from last month. I've given out a list of altcoins I plan to ride for the bull run to my VIPs, and I also give out hot altcoin swing positions every week. If you want information on how to get into the VIP group to be part of these trades, the information is also in the description below. So taking a look at Bitcoin's 4-hour chart, the RSI is also heavily oversold, striking down to the 7 on the RSI. Absolutely ridiculous. It's just now starting to hammer its way back up to around 20. Still very, very far down in the oversold territory, screaming for a pullback. The 4-hour Kijun-sen is somewhere around the 57.33 level. I am expecting a pullback up to that level. Right now we are still posting bearish SAR dots, but if we head down to the hourly chart, we have flipped the SAR a couple times here, which means we are going to move into some side trending territory. The hourly Kijun-sen is plateauing around the 53.86, so we may see a short-term pullback to that as this continues to rise to test the hourly cloud. As for the Heikin Ashi or money flow, we are starting to form some nice money flow back into Bitcoin. Now that the Bitcoin Cash fork has completed, I am expecting a bit more volatility on Bitcoin and more pressure to pull back up. So now for the question that's on everyone's mind: is the bull run canceled? Personally, I discount this entire Bitcoin movement from the market cycle trend. I actually believe it may delay the bull run. However, this sort of breakdown is likely to result in an equal reaction in the opposite direction, causing the price to absolutely skyrocket and cause FOMO to just jump into the price. And just in case you don't remember, we had a savage dip on Bitcoin just before the January bull run. It took about 3 weeks to run up from around 6,000 all the way up to 20,000. So literally anything can happen at this point. Now, as for the market cap today, we fell down to 183 billion. We lost about $30 billion. A lot of this was obviously the exchange's assets being removed from the space through a lot of those long squeezes. And taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance, we're still kind of on a downtrend. It's still sitting around the 53% area. But what's surprising is that Bitcoin's price fluctuation really didn't move the dominance that much. Take a look at the altcoin market. All of it is down. Some down 20%, some down 13, 10, etc. I do expect a lot of these to rebound, especially when we start climbing back into the previous range. People panic, they panic sell a lot of their altcoins, they jump back into Bitcoin and then liquidate it into fiat. So this is a very good time to be picking up altcoins with all of these super discounted. I mean, you're looking at just a 25% gain just back to the previous price. So if you exercise proper portfolio management, you should have some liquidity on the side to throw into some of these positions. Now, I just want to point out some things on the Ethereum shorts and the Bitcoin shorts right now. Ethereum shorts have absolutely skyrocketed up on the daily chart. Look at this gigantic green candle. The RSI level is still kind of out of the daily RSI long squeeze danger zone. It's at about 58, but if we go down to the 4-hour, you can see that Ethereum shorts are still overextended, down at 79 now on the RSI scale, still climbing, but very likely to execute into a long squeeze, which will cause Ethereum's price to shoot up very rapidly. As for Bitcoin shorts, you can see that the daily has also risen very, very aggressively. It has started to break down slightly, which is why we're seeing the Bitcoin price recover a bit. On the RSI, it's down at 46, but on the 4-hour, it has started to climb down from this RSI range and execute into a short squeeze, which is why we are seeing this very small pump on Bitcoin right now and ride up. I am expecting this to continue for a while. Just to recap where I think Bitcoin is going right now, I do believe that we are going to execute a Bart-Simpson formation, kind of side trend through this range until the short squeezes build up, and once they execute, we will fly straight back up into this range, possibly even further. So this is my long-term bullish outlook. Obviously, there is a potential chance of a flash crash further if the media picks up on this and starts panicking people. That is a possibility, but very, very unlikely. I do not believe that this is falling into our overall trend. It just does not match with any sort of market trend cycle. So that's it for today's technical analysis. If you do make any trades today, I wish you luck. Please join me in my free Telegram at t.me/CryptoSnakePit, where I give up-to-the-minute updates on Bitcoin and my personal exits and entries for the private VIP group. Also included is our private VIP chat, where you can chat with many of our experienced savage traders, get personal technical analysis from me, and answer any questions you might have. This is CryptoSnake, signing off.